What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay. A new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet mon has dropped, and we're gonna dive into its details and its competitive viability. Let's get into it. All right, so we have Grafaiai here, which is a toxic monkey Pokemon, which is poison normal, which is the first of its kind, which is super duper 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 hype. It is a little short boy and weighs very little, and it gets the abilities Unburden and Poison Touch. Unburden is very interesting. Poison Touch could be a little bit cool, but Unburden is definitely going to be its money maker in competitive mons. We're going to dive into its descriptions real quick to get some information and then make some theories, some theories on what this mon could be like in competitive. So we see it sets up poison traps around its territory. It's nocturnal. It licks its hands and fingers to cover them in poison, and then draws the patterns on trees, and that this paint, aka saliva, paralyzes bug Pokemon, which are drawn to the saliva's sweet scent, and then Grafaiai goes and then eats up the buggies. So, and then we have Grafaiai senses danger. Its poisonous saliva becomes even more toxic. So it specializes in using its poisonous saliva, and it changes color depending on what the Pokemon eats to attack foes by spitting at them or by slashing at them after coating its claws with saliva. When Grafaiai senses danger, its poison rapidly becomes concentrated, resulting in a potent toxin that, once absorbed, will immobilize the victim for 3 whole days. So pretty cool. And what we can gather from this, I would assume, just making assumptions, that Grafaiai, in terms of competitive viability, it seems like it could potentially get access to toxic spikes, or it might even have a new type of move that can either be poison type and paralyze a mon, or it's just going to be typical poison type, poisoning something, and it might have a greater ability to poison. So that could be cool, considering that this mon is just a poison specialist. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of moves to give this thing. I hope they'll give it like something of a signature move, but it could be, I could be reaching, but as of right now, it seems like it could very much get like some type of special move. I wouldn't put it past it, because it has emphasis on all of its saliva and that it paralyzes mon. So I could definitely see like a poison move, therefore having a secondary effect of paralysis, which would be kind of cool. It would be kind of new. And then we have Unburden, right? So Unburden, if you don't know, it is an ability that when the item is consumed or knocked off, the speed of that Pokemon is doubled. So it's interesting, because if this mon is special, Belch on it could be super cool. And it would be a Belch has like, I believe, 120 base power and is a special type move, which would be very nice on this mon. But it also depends on what kind of spread this Pokemon has. Looking at the history of Unburden mons, and there aren't that many. There is the Sceptile line, there's Excelgor, there's Driftblim, there's Hitmonlee, there's Liepard, there is Slurpuff, and there's Stevel. So very few, and all of them aren't really that good in competitive mons or battles, aside from potentially Sceptile, Slurpuff, Excelgor, Hawlucha, and Hitmonlee. But then even then it's kind of meh, because they're very frail. So that's the other thing that we could see. We see this small little guy. I doubt he'll have any fat on him, any defenses. He just looks like he's going to be a speedy boy and hopefully have some good offensive stats. It could be like Sceptile, where Sceptile has a somewhat of a decent special attack stat, but also has a good enough basic physical attack stat where it can perform the ability to be a mixed attacker. Grafaiai might be able to do that, or it might be something like Hitmonlee or Hawlucha, where it's just a speedy boy and then has a very good attack stat. So that could be it too, or it could just be a very special attacker. The only Unburden mon that we've had that has some kind of thick in it is Slurpuff. Slurpuff is probably the thickest one, because it has a slow base speed at like 72, but then it doubles, so it's very fast. But then Slurpuff overall is kind of a bit more thicker in comparison to all the other Unburden mons. And then you have Excelgor, which is very fast to begin with, and then has a decent special attack stat, but it's also very frail. So that's the common theme with Unburden mons, that it seems that they all seem to be very frail. And looking at Grafaiai, definitely we can make that same assumption, because it's a small little guy. Let me look at him. He's 2'4" and 60 pounds. He's definitely not, he's not taking hits. Because this is a toxic monkey Pokemon typically tend to have U-turn. If you look at Zarude, Passimian, Primate, mons like that, they always tend to have some type of momentum, like mainly U-turn. So we can definitely assume that this mon will get U-turn, which is very cool, because if you have followed me and watched my draft league content, I love momentum. So momentum is always crucial in battles. So that's going to be awesome. And then I didn't touch on this, but poison normal is its first on the typing, but it's an awesome, it's a pretty good typing because you're immune to ghosts. Normal is typically weak to fighting, but because poison resists fighting, it is now a neutral hit. So it resists everything. Its 2 weaknesses are simply psychic and ground. So that's really cool. It's a really good typing. Only have 2 weaknesses. Perfect. But the only thing is that Grafaiai looks to be like it'll be a frail mon. But you never know. It could definitely, if I look it up, I think a good mon that could be of similar like stat spread, it could be like Komala. Komalo is very slow though, but you know, it has thickness, but essentially they could switch around some of the stats and give Grafaiai a decent enough speed boost because of the Unburden, and then it could have some thickness like Komala has, because Komala has some good spadef. Its defenses leave much to be desired at base 65, and HP is base 65, but it's and then attack tag is 115. So we can see some stuff like that. There's definitely ways they could go about making Grafaiai be a thicker mon or a more offensive mon. I think it's going to be very interesting to see in comp. I'm very excited to see what kind of stat spread this will get, but as of right now, I'm thinking I'm just going to stick to the typical Unburden, where it's going to be either a mixed attacker, has its offensive stats be kind of distributed evenly, or it's going to be either a physical attacker or a special attacker with a decent enough speed thanks to Unburden, and then it's just going to double and be a very, very speedy boy. But I think Grafaiai is a really cool mon. I can't wait to see how it'll perform in battles in Gen 9. So if you guys are hyped, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to comment what you guys think that its stat spread will look like, or what moves you guys think it will have access to. So because I'm very excited to see what Grafaiai can do. If you are new here, make sure to sub and welcome, and click that notification bell if you want to know when I post. Without further ado, I'm your boy Jay. I'm gonna get about your hair, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.